We're about 60 kilometers to the northwest of the Norwegian capital Oslo, in Vikersund. I'm sure that not only fans of the British team will be happy to hear that my co-commentator...
It's a very different experience watching the others jump for once. Maybe I'll take over your job soon, Mark.
It's not that easy to find the right wax mixture today, but he got the optimum. There you can see the difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. I think this is worth having a second look.
Yes, Mark, I think that a closer analysis is always worthwhile.
So this was the first hurdle on the way to victory that was cleared by... I'm a bit worried about the weather at the moment.
Yes, it's not really ideal, but it shouldn't be a problem for a real pro.
Well, the distance is pretty okay, but if he wants to play in the top group, he'll have to practice a lot. Yeah. At least if you take this jump as typical, if you can. The replay will show us now how on earth he was able to come up with such magic.
Yeah.
So, this is the result of the first round. There are still many skiers better than him, many who are worse. His performance and his attitude are right. He just needs a little bit of luck to play at the top.
Yeah, we all need a bit of luck.
Considering his abilities, that was a reasonable performance. Good work.
Good work.
Let's have a closer look at this jump in the replay.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that.
Yeah. Some people still think that Telemark is an American TV star.
I beg your pardon.
Well, Telemark.
Oh no, please. You had promised me to leave your puns at home today.
He'll be rejoicing when he sees the style score for his jump. Perfect, the judges say. You actually cannot do better.
Nope, that's absolutely top way.
The venue here in Vikersund is in permanent rivalry with Oslo.
Yeah, they intend to alter the ski jump so that the actual distance record can be equalled.
Yeah, you see, competition is good for business.
Yeah, that's right, I always say the same.
Well, that's good for the maximum score. At least that's my opinion. Let's see if the judges agree with me.
Well, I reckon so, Mark. By the way, have you ever tried to make a jump yourself?
No. Why?
Well, it would be nice if you, as a reporter, knew exactly what you were talking about, don't you think?
At the beginning, the posture was much more important in ski jumping than the distance.
No wonder. If you look at old pictures, the skiers are as straight as a ramrod, and they thrash their arms around like mad. I wouldn't call this aesthetic.
No weather for records, but maybe for some nice surprises.
Yeah, you know, such conditions even suit some skiers.
His many fans out there on the screens will be rejoicing.
Absolutely, Mark. That looked really good. Excellent landing. You know, putting the skis parallel is an art in itself, and he managed it perfectly.
The weather is a bit bleak, but visibility is fine, so there's nothing to rattle the skiers. You could use his approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus a minimal air resistance, and it looks very fast. Here's the final ranking for you, ladies and gentlemen, after a thrilling competition. Next time, all skiers have the chance to go for gold. Until then, I say cheerio and adios to my co-commentator, Colin Phillips.
Well, thanks very much there, Mark. It was a pleasure being here, really. I've had great fun. Maybe not quite as much as being one of the jumpers myself, but maybe next time. See you soon. Bye now. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye. Zakopane, with its typical wooden houses, has always attracted artists. Today, of course, we're here to see the art of ski jumping. Today I have Colin Phillips at my side, who will...
I'm happy to be here too. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Once again, the best skiers in the world have to prove that they're well prepared for the World Cup season. Qualification can be tricky. A number of favorites have tripped up here by taking too great a risk. But really, it should be straightforward. The best 50 skiers at the 72 qualify. Well, you can be sure that he'll go to bed happy tonight. He made the most of his capabilities today. That was a decent performance, and a good result for him. Thanks to technology, we can look at the replay and be clear about things. Maybe we should... Many jumpers say that it is sometimes harder to get through the qualification. Zakopane has developed from a village founded in the 17th century into a small town. Today, 30,000 people live here, mostly from tourism. Let's have a look at his score. Wow, it's as good as his jump. That's great to see the judges daring to go that high with their mark.
But they didn't have a choice, Mark.
No.
This was an excellent performance that had to be rewarded.
Well, you can't complain about the weather today.
No, the weather conditions are perfect.
That's how it's supposed to look.
Yep.
Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Well, it should be.
He's one of the skiers who pleasantly surprised the expert this season. He always lived up to their expectations, and he didn't have a single fall this season.
Yeah, last year was quite a different story. Now he's become a really good skier.
What do you think, Colin? Can he win the competition?
Yes, if he does another of those outstanding performances, there's virtually no one to beat him. He's in excellent shape, and of course, he's self-confident enough in his own performance. I'm sure we'll hear from him when it comes to the title fight.
Wow, amazing! That was an extraordinarily smooth landing. No shakiness, no swaying. He'll get an excellent score, unless the judges are blind.
Well...
The last Slovene World Cup winner was Primož Peterka at the end of the 90s. So it's high time a Slovene makes it to the top again, isn't it?
This one might make it, Mark. Let's hope he's got the right wax mixture.
It's as if a magnet pulled him down to earth whenever he reaches this distance. He simply can't go any further. Why doesn't he give a really top performance for once, Colin?
Well, you have to ask him that, Mark, not me, but I think he'll take the necessary steps after the competition.
So, do you have a favorite ski jump, Colin?
No, I couldn't say that. Every hill has its advantages. Of course, I'm always happy to start at home in England, but I also like visiting foreign countries.
For a second, I was afraid he would flunk the takeoff, but he did it quite well.
But you can do better.
Of course you can, Colin. It wasn't perfect, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
The weather is really good today, so no excuse for the skiers.
That's right, Mark.
The hard work and training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. That was a good jump. Not a very good one, and the score reflects that. I think the judges made a wise decision. Zakopane is of course closely connected to the name of Adam Malysz, the best Polish ski jumper of all times.
Yeah, he was fabulous.
Colin, have you ever seen a takeoff as perfect as this one?
Rarely, very rarely. I have to admit it. He did a great job up there.
Great jump, great score. Today everything worked out for him, and the judges understood that his performance was outstanding today. In consequence, he gets an excellent score.
Yeah, he really deserved that.
At first, ski jumping was a sport for amateurs. Commercialization only started in the 70s. From then on, the competitions were shown on TV so that people all over the world could watch them. It was about the same period that the number of professional jumpers increased significantly. I think the judges will have to give a maximum score. The landing was simply impeccable. Many jumpers will have looked at that with envy. That's exactly how anyone would like to end his flight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He's the winning type. He's rightly at the top of the ranking. While others are unsettled by bad conditions such as lack of wind or poor visibility, he just goes for it and makes incredible distances. Colin, what's your comment on this performance?
Well, there's not much to criticize, actually. His performance is good, he's calm, and in complete control of the situation. I'd say the only thing he still lacks a little bit is routine and level-headedness.
You know what? I really prefer this type of skier. He's never satisfied with what he's attained, but he always tries to get a little better.
Yeah, that's true, Mark. He gets better with every competition. He almost scares me.
I think we've seen some nice and what's more, long jumps. And I also think that the best 30 skiers absolutely deserve to be... What's going on down there? I can't see anything!
Listen, I'll go and have a look. You won't believe me!
What's up?
A cow wandered onto the ice skating rink.
That's unbelievable! Is it true?
Yeah.
I think we can be satisfied with this score after all. That was an okay performance. Colin?
Yeah, absolutely. He deserves his beer tonight. Maybe even two.
Let's have another look at the replay. Maybe we overlooked some details.
It could be.
If we don't see any good jumps today... Ladies and gentlemen, here are the final results for your information. I'd be glad to have you with us again next time. And many thanks to my co-commentator, Colin Phillips.
Oh, thanks to you too, Mark. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
See you next time. Today we're in Zakopane, Poland. I have a special guest today, Colin Phillips. Would you mind me saying that it's a stroke of luck, in a certain way, that you're not participating in the competition today?
It's a great pleasure to me, my friends. Thank you very much for the invitation, and hello, everybody.
We're looking forward to another World Cup competition of the pros. The most important thing in qualification is to make a secure landing, as 50 out of 72 skiers will qualify for the next round.
I got stuck in the qualification round once. It was so frustrating.
Was it?
Oh, horrible.
Now we get the chance to analyze all the jumps. After the competition, a deep breath for all those who have qualified. That's the 50 best jumpers of the day.
Yes, Mark, and I can see some surprises here. Can't wait to see who...
By the way, it was in the United States that the first ski jump with an elevated jump table was built back in 1912. But not in Park City, it was in Steamboat Springs. And the man responsible for it was, of course...
America?
No, a Norwegian, of course. His name was Carl Kovalsson.
Ah, good old Carl.
Let's have a look at the replay. We separate the grain from the chaff, so the fine saying goes.
Oh, the boys from the men.
No one would have bet on him before this season, but things have changed. He's turning in a good performance, and surely no one will ever underestimate him again. So he's among the top 20, and he's doing well.
Yeah, good on you.
Textbook takeoff. Best conditions for a very, very long jump. Great.
Fantastic.
His hard work has paid off. The good posture in flight and landing is awarded a good score by the judges. Very nice.
Lovely.
Let's take the time to look at the replay. He can be satisfied with his performance so far. It's consistent and strong. He's not yet good enough to be at the very top, but who knows? It might just be around the corner.
Could be.
A textbook telemark. Everything was correct, from timing to parallel ski position. The spectators are enthusiastic, and rightly so. I think he can be sure to earn a great deal of praise from his coach.
Yeah, we should do.
This season, he had planned to be out with the front runners. It's not quite worked out for him, but he's made an impression.
Yeah, he practices a lot, and you can feel that he's not satisfied with a medium rank.
Great approach run, don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it could be better. He's standing perfectly on his skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mark.
Yeah, but he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right pot for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
The wind could hardly be better today. There's a slight upwind that might give our skiers wings.
Like Eddie the Eagle.
Wow, this might turn into a good flight. A takeoff to put the fear of God into his opponents. Perfect conditions for an excellent distance. Up 1 minute, down the next. Typical of him. He almost made it to the very top, and then came the decline. There's every chance he'll drop out of the top 10. What's his problem, Colin?
Well, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell him. He's my rival, Mark. No, to be honest, this is not only about his form in the day. Maybe he's got some private problems too. Who knows?
You talked about the jump as a filigree system, Colin. What role does the material play?
Well, naturally, it's absolutely crucial. For example, if your angle of attack is not perfect, or even the wax mixture, that can spoil your whole season.
The result is better than anything I have ever seen before. So he makes a great stride forward and leaves a good number of rivals behind him. Where did this performance come from?
Well, I suppose it's due to his continual training, which...
Even the weather is now eager to create perfect start conditions.
Yes, I can sense there'll be some record distances today.
Looks good in takeoff today. It could be a little more explosive and more powerful, but this is really an okay performance. You can live with that.
You should be pretty pleased.
Zakopane is also called the St. Moritz of the Tatra. This isn't only about ski jumping, but also about seeing and being seen.
Oh, yes.
The judges have made their decision. And he gets a pretty good score. That's a fair judgment. I would like to ask you something, Colin.
Okay.
For many people, ski jumping is totally serious, but at the same time, it's a big show and should be fun above all.
Show? Listen, ski jumping virtually belongs to the arts. It demands absolute seriousness and devotion to the sport.
Well, I had a colleague who made a joke about UFOs flying over the jump. He was bombed with hate
I
mail.
can imagine, because it's inappropriate to make fun of sports.
Okay, I didn't say that. If the ski jumps were really roofed over, as certain experts are proposing, competitions would no longer be cancelled because of bad weather conditions.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it would be an enormous investment for the operators. And I think it would be harmful to the atmosphere. Make my approach run in a tunnel? No, thank you.
His fans at home can relax and lean back now. Everyone can be happy with his score. He's well placed in terms of distance as well as style score. Good. Great hum and buzz with the beautiful weather today. Ready for the soaring flight of the bumblebees.
No, I don't quite get it.
His performance is regular as clockwork this season. He's always in the top group. His practice seems to pay off.
Absolutely. He wouldn't let anyone pass him now, but on the other hand, he's not yet good enough to make the decisive step towards becoming number one.
He seems to have studied all the textbooks about ski jumping and learned them by heart. Well, at least the chapter about landing, that was perfect, wasn't it, Colin?
Yes, indeed. That was great. I didn't see the slightest mistake there.
He's one of those skiers who is capable of pulling a cat out of a bag. He goes on improving with every competition, and you can't say that about many other competitors.
No, that's right, Mark.
The hard work in training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. I don't want to exaggerate, but this score is close to a sensation. He exceeds all expectations.
Yeah, fantastic. Sensational.
It's here in Zakopane, by the way, that the oldest cable railway in Europe is operated. It goes up to the Kastrovs Vierge to an altitude of almost 2,000 meters. There's no improving on that, eh? Timing, explosivity, everything was 100% perfect. The windsock indicates a slight up. So this is an overview of the final ranking, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an exciting competition today, and that's how we like it. We'll see you next time. It's goodbye from Mark Rafferty.
And from me, Colin Phillips, thanks and goodbye.
Bye. Oberstdorf is not only the venue for sports records, but also a natural monument. 3/4 of this region belong to a nature reserve. Today I have expert help on my side.
Seeing all that bustle around, I'd really like to go up there and jump myself. But this time I'll leave it to the other skiers.
What can you say about a score like that? We've seen an amazing jump, and that's what the judges thought too. This is a dream score.
Yeah, now that's what I like to see.
I suppose we can have a look at the replay. Ah, there it is. Do you know this Norwegian who's starting next, Colin?
No, not personally, but I've seen him before. He's got potential.
Let's see which 50 skiers have qualified for the next round. The fog shouldn't annoy the skiers, as visibility is still relatively good. An okay jump, let's put it like that. He certainly won't rejoice about the distance, I'm pretty sure of that. Now we get the chance to analyze all the jumps. To me, he's one of the... Oh, that was an exciting competition today, don't you think, Colin?
Yeah.
Have you ever considered a career in another discipline?
Yeah, I really did.
Which one?
Curling.
You're kidding.
No, always going up those towers is tiring. I sometimes wish I could stand on firm ground during the competition.
Okay, I got it. You're really kidding.
Chip find it out.
He didn't fall, at least.
Yes, of course, Mark. In such a case, the judges are forced to deduct some points. So I'm certainly not in for a decent style score.
The replay will show us now how on earth he was able to come up with such magic.
Yeah.
These are the results of today's competition, ladies and gentlemen. The 3 winners of the day, cheered by the crowd. Next time, things can turn out quite differently. We hope you'll be with us again. Mark Rafferty
And Colin Phillips.
take their leave of you.
Au revoir, goodbye, and auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye. Hello from the Allgäu Alps. If you have a look around at the panorama of these mountains, you can tell for sure that this is a health resort. The view itself is salutary. What's a hope?
Next time I'll be competing again, that's for sure.
We all hope that, and we keep our fingers crossed for you. What do you say about this now?
Great, absolutely great. There's not much he can improve on. That was really very good. He put down the skis at the right moment. And what's more important still, Mark, he did an impeccable telemark landing. The judges will appreciate that, I'm sure.
Let's have another look at the replay. Maybe we overlooked some details.
It could be.
This one comes from the native country of ski jumping, a Norwegian. I hope that nobody will be blown away today.
It's not easy to start under these conditions, that's for sure.
That looks as if he had never done anything else in his life than taking off. Great timing. His skis take off precisely at the right point, and he's got the right degree of explosivity. The hard training over the last few weeks has paid off, and it's reflected by the results. No reason to be dissatisfied. What do you say, Paulie?
Now he can pack his skis with a clear conscience and try to attack again in the next competition.
Yeah. For top ranking, I'd say he's still not aggressive or tough enough.
Possibly. But did you have a close look at his results? Slowly but surely he's working his way up.
Yeah, he is. It's not that easy to find the right wax mixture today, but he got the optimum. There you can see what difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. There aren't many rivals left for him. It's amazing. His performance, and at that age, his distances are virtually always around the Cape Point, or even further.
Yes, I'll take that hat off to him. Great stuff.
Wow, excellent landing there. Telemark, the skis touched down flatly, not edged over. That's what the judges want to see. And the public too, of course. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Great season for him. His performance is consistently good or even very good, and that's reflected in the ranking. He'll keep his place in the top 10. No way he's going to be pushed out.
No, I don't see that either.
That jump was okay, but he could still make some more distance. I think no one would object to that.
At least of all him.
Great season for him. His performance is consistently good or even very good, and that's reflected in the ranking. He'll keep his place in the top 10. No way he's going to be pushed out.
No, I don't see that either.
The ski flying jump in August 12th in the Birksau Valley is one of the 6 biggest hills in the world. Ski flying weeks, World Cup or World Championship. This hill is always good for enormous distances. That's how the takeoff has to be. An explosive extension of the body at the right point on the jump table, and then an intensely powerful takeoff.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Knock, knock. There's someone knocking hard at the door of the top 10.
Yeah, he's got the will to get to the very top, and he subordinates everything else to this goal.
Great approach run. don't you think, Colin?
Yes, it couldn't be better. He's standing perfectly on his skis. If there were style points given for the approach run, he'd get maximum score here, Mark.
Yeah, but he also had some luck with the wax mixture. He chose the right part for these snow conditions.
And he's going down fast.
What would you tell someone to convince him about the sport?
Well, that's a difficult one. I'd say that ski jump is not a sport, it's an art, or philosophy even, a religion.
That's laying it on a bit thick, isn't it?
Well, just make a jump yourself, 200 metres down the valley. Then you'll change your mind, right?
Would you tell us what the private Colin Phillips does in his leisure time? Maybe he grows roses or plays football?
Roses? Football? Well, I like football, but no, none of them, Mark. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Oh, come on!
I love computer games.
No!
Yes, I do. It's great for relaxation, especially before competitions.
That's a pretty good score for him. I think I would have judged his fight similarly. He didn't make any mistakes, and that's what the judges thought as well.
Yeah, I think they did it right
there. Ski jumping developed from downhill at the end of the 18th century. The inhabitants of a small town in the province of Norway called Telemark probably got bored by always just racing straight down into the valley, so they started to jump over small elevations. At least that's the story spun by the sport historians about the origins of this. That result is okay for him, isn't it, Colin?
Well, yes, absolutely. Of course, every athlete hopes for more before each competition, but I think that after this jump, the score is justified.
The field of skiers is on the decrease. Only the best 30 athletes will come back for the decisive jump, and so we say goodbye to the other 20.
Yes, bye-bye.
The skiers are confronted with a very strong crosswind today. The question is, who can cope best with these difficult conditions?
Well, we'll soon find out.
That was a perfect takeoff.
Absolutely, Mark. To find the precise point for takeoff and then lift up powerfully, that's an art. He's got a complete command of it, no doubt about that.
Let's take the time to look at the replay. Okay, he's had some luck in some of his performances. But if he had no talent, he wouldn't have come this far. Everything's fallen into place for him this season.
Yeah, he often seems to fly by wire. Falling seems out of the question.
And now a German skier. I'm sure it's not only his coach he wants to impress.
Mark, what about Sven Hannavard? I haven't seen him around in a while.
Oh, he'll reappear on the scene, I'm sure of that.
Maybe.
He did well to master the most difficult phase in ski jumping, the takeoff. This might make for a very good jump. He's one of the outstanding jumpers this season, and he's rightly at the top. His form peaks at the right moment. Many of his colleagues could still learn from him. He's a pro, absolutely concentrated in training and competition. The winning guy. Well, I'm sure he isn't satisfied with this result. In general, he's used to much better score, and the newspapers won't be all too nice to him in the commentaries tomorrow.
Well, you know what the tabloids are like, Mark.
Tell us your recipe for success, Colin.
Well, if you ask me, a jump is an extraordinary filigree system. The slightest imprecision, and you're out. So the thing is to avoid any mistakes.
Okay, and how do you do that?
Well, first, it has to become automatic. That means practice, practice, practice. Secondly, you need concentration. That means mental strength. That's the crucial point, in fact.
I don't believe their eyes. Excellent score for him, really a top score. But his performance was excellent too. Congratulations.
Not bad.
He's very, very close to the top skiers in the world. Actually, he's already one of them. If he can keep up this performance, he's a real threat to the leaders.
Yeah, excellent season for him, absolutely.
Great. Superb. A very, very nice take.
Yeah, excellent.
As if he had pushed the right button at the right moment.
Super, absolutely super.
If he had concentrated a bit more during the flight, and if he had jumped a little farther, well, then he might have gotten a better score. But if doesn't help him here. The score is appropriate. Basta.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the overall ranking after this fascinating competition.
Yes.
The winners' fans are cheering, but the skiers on the second and third place can be satisfied too with their performance today, I think.
Me too.
And thanks to all the others who made today such an enjoyable day. So we'll see you next time. Mark Rafferty and the British ski jumping star Colin Phillips say goodbye to you now.
Ah, well, next time I'd prefer to be up there on the ski jump myself,
Yes.
Mark.
Looking forward to it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. We're in the north of the Czech Republic in the town of Liberec. I have Colin Phillips with me, an institution in British ski jumping, if I may say so.
Well, let's not exaggerate. I would have liked to start myself, but it wasn't meant to be.
Today, we'll be watching the World Ski Jumping Elite in another World Cup event. That's how it's supposed to look.
Yep.
Calm posture, no fidgeting, no arm movement, and his chest bent far over his skis. No problem with his skis either. The wax is superb. His speed at takeoff will be amazing.
Well, it should be.
I think this is worth having a second look.
Yes, Mark, I think that a closer analysis is always worthwhile.
It is not quite Tom. So this is the result of the qualification round. Let's see who's among the top 50, so we can tell who will start again today. Can I risk another little climb?
No, no, and no again?
You may have a humorous and funny bone, but what about a sense of humor?
Oh my God, any more of that, I'm out of here. I've had it.
Let's have a look at his score. Wow, it's as good as his jump. That's great to see the judges daring to go that high with their mark.
But they didn't have a choice, Mark.
No.
This was an excellent performance that had to be rewarded.
Here you can practically start in the heart of the woods. Is that rather irritating, or are there advantages too?
Well, no, as a pro, you don't let anything put you off.
A sigh of relief from his coach. A problem-free landing that should convince the judges. The score must be good. Otherwise, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, so would I.
It's raining cats and dogs now. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Oh, that's every skier's nightmare up there.
And it's pretty dangerous too.
Yeah.
You could use this approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus minimal error resistance. And it looks very fast. It improves from competition to competition and from jump to jump. Let's see how far up he could get in the ranking.
He should go way up, Mark, I think.
He's getting better and better. And I'm sure that the top skiers will keep their eye on him today.
Well, if he can start under good weather conditions and has a little bit of luck, he'll be able to climb up the ranking this season, that's for sure.
Might have done worse for him. He can and must be satisfied with the distance. That's his average performance, and he consolidated it today. What euphoria surrounding this man in the last few weeks, and he deserves all of it. His performance has been outstanding throughout the season. I bet he's dreamed more than once these last few days about being on his victory lap.
Well, I believe he can do it, actually, Mark. If there's one person in the world who can, then it's him.
To me, he's one of the great surprises of the season. I wouldn't have expected to see him in the top 10.
No, me neither, Mark, but it's those shooting stars who make this sport interesting.
What do you say about this?
Great, absolutely great. There's not much he can improve on. That was really very good. He put down the skis at the right moment. And what's more important still, Mark, he did an impeccable turnout landing. The judges will appreciate that, I'm sure.
The wind isn't perfect today, is it, Colin?
Oh, well, not really, but there's a slight crosswind, you know. I don't think that's a problem, though, Mark.
Perfect start for his flight. The takeoff was excellent.
However, there's always a little bit of luck in it, but this one was precise and powerful.
Yes, it was. What do you think, Colin? Can he win the competition?
Yes, if he does another of those outstanding performances, there's virtually no one to beat him. He's in excellent shape, and of course, he's self-confident enough in his own performance. I'm sure we'll hear from him when it comes to the title fight.
A perfect landing with a nice telemark. Could you explain to our spectators what's important in a telemark, Colin?
Well, that's easy. A telemark is a thrusting step with the skis. The rear leg is bent down lower than the front leg. So it's a kind of curtsy.
To the public? We separate the grain from the chaff, so the fine saying goes.
Or the boys from the...
It's only since the middle of the 19th century that the skiers have landed on the slope.
They must have scorched their feet back there. They had to land completely on the flat.
A textbook telemark. Everything was correct, from timing to parallel ski position. The spectators are enthusiastic, and rightly so. I think he can be sure to earn a great deal of praise from his coach.
Well, he should do.
Thanks to technology, we can look at the replay and be clear about things. There's a thick fog over the ski jump. I suppose you're not sad that you're not starting today, are you, Colin?
No, Mark, you say that again. It's no fun skiing in such conditions, you know.
You could use his approach in a video to teach the youngsters perfect posture, thus a minimal air resistance, and it looks very fast. In winter, the area around Liberec turns into a real dream landscape.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Very nice takeoff. Nothing to criticize, am I right, Colin?
Oh, yeah, Mark. He made the takeoff at the right moment, a bit earlier or a bit later, and he might have found it, but not today. That was great stuff.
Excellent. I always find it odd that today's ski jumping heroes are here today but gone tomorrow, fallen into oblivion.
Yeah, literally.
Seriously, what do you think is the reason for this?
Well, as I said, ski jumping is a question of psychology above all. And it's even metaphysical sometimes. There's probably no other sport where inner circle is as important as ski jumping.
Unfortunately, heaven seems to have opened its floodgates. Not easy for the skiers to cope with these weather conditions.
No, it's raining cats and dogs.
This is where he's better than most other jumpers. His takeoff is perfect once again. It's not that easy to find the right point for takeoff at such a high speed, is it, Colin?
No, not at all. Things go so fast up there that you sometimes have to feel intuitively when you have to take off. But he just did it perfectly.
There's some crosswind at the moment, but it shouldn't be a problem. However, the skiers will have to adjust to the weather conditions. A sigh of relief from his coach. A problem-free landing that should convince the judges. The score must be good. Otherwise, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, so would I.
Here's the final ranking for you, ladies and gentlemen. After a thrilling competition, next time all skiers have the chance to go for gold. Until then, I say cheerio and adios to my co-commentator, Colin Phillips.
Well, thanks very much there, Mark. It was a pleasure being here, really. I've had great fun. Maybe not quite as much as being one of the jumpers myself, but maybe next time. See you soon. Bye now. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye. Today, we're at the Jested mountain in northern Bohemia.
By the way, you can also do alpine skiing here in Liberec.
Colin Phillips, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the big names in British ski jumping.
At least I can support my home country in this way.
Today, there's another competition of the Professional League's World Cup. There's no improving on that, eh? Timing, explosivity, everything was 100% perfect. Let's have a look at the replay. So this is the result of the qualification. The weather's not exactly glorious, but I hope the performances will make up for it.
Well, as long as visibility's okay, there'll be no problem.
Yes, that was good. He found the right point for takeoff and did it properly. All that's required for a long flight. That's what you end up with after such a terrible performance. He would have been better off staying in bed today. I suppose we can have a look at the replay. Ah, there it is. The area around Liberec has... So, this is the result of the first... You know, let's talk again about the sudden drop in performance in ski jumping.
Okay, let's look at the German Sven Hannawald, for example.
Yeah, right. It's so strange what's been happening with him.
We'll just look at Janne Ahonen. In the 2002-2003 season, no one would have bet a single penny on him. And then he suddenly emerged at the World Cup and won the four-hill tournament. Like the world was stupid.
Do you think that Sven is still capable of something like that?
Well, I'm convinced he is, my friend.
Let's have a closer look at this jump in the replay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that.
Yeah. He's one of the skiers who pleasantly surprised the expert this season. He always lived up to their expectations, and he didn't have a single fall this season.
Yeah, last year was quite a different story. Now he's become a really good skier.
The hard work and training paid off. His posture is perfect, and the skis are fast as hell. So what could be done to make ski jumping more popular in England, Colin?
Well, maybe we should just serve some good beer during the competition.
Right. Well, sometimes you can get root beer.
Oh, come on. I don't call that sort of stuff beer.
He told me before the competition that he had a good feeling. Is that enough to make it to the top, Colin?
Well, I don't think he'll make a top rate now, but he has a lot of fight in him, and if he can improve a little bit, he'll certainly leave the midfield standing.
Well, there was no improvement to be seen today, nor was there any deterioration. He's already proved that he can cope with the very best. but at the crucial moment he often lacks their cool. That's why his rank among the top 20 is justified for the moment. That's all the distance he's capable of today, so he has to be satisfied with it.
What else could he do?
The V-style technique was introduced at the end of the 80s by the Swedish skier Jan Bokalo. Soon the entire world elite adopted it.
Good ideas catch on fast.
Yeah, at first he had a lot of points deducted at every jump because of his incorrect posture. Great landing. His many fans out there on the screens will be rejoicing.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark.
Yeah.
That looked really good. Excellent landing. You know, putting the skis parallel is an art in itself, and he managed it perfectly.
The hill record here is held by Janne Ahonen with 139 meters. It's not that easy to find the right wax mixture today, but he got the upgrade. There you can see what difference it makes in terms of speed.
But only if the posture is right.
But it does, 100%. The skiers will have to adjust to a strong crosswind today. I hope they will make the best of the circumstances.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
That's how the takeoff has to be. An explosive extension of the body at the right point in the jump table, and then an intensely powerful takeoff.
Yeah, that's impressive.
His performance is regular as clockwork this season. He's always in the top group. His practice seems to pay off.
Absolutely. He wouldn't let anyone pass him now, but on the other hand, he's not yet good enough to make the decisive step towards becoming number one.
It's a slight drizzle, but it scarcely affects visibility. Will not. Let's have a look at the overall ranking after this fascinating competition.
Yes.
The winners' fans are cheering, but the skiers on the second and third place can be satisfied too with their performance today, I think. And thanks to all the others who made today such an enjoyable day. So see you next time. Mark Rafferty and the British ski jumping star Colin Phillips say goodbye to you.
Oh, well, next time I'd prefer to be up there on the ski jump myself,
Yes.
Mark.
Looking forward to it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.